They couldn't afford rats, they got squirrels.
And then throw off my jaw in 5 different places.
I shoot boogers out of my nose real good.
They time-shifted Wolverine's brain back into my bread.
Would I eat dead bodies? No.
I can't look away. It's kind of gross, but alright, it's kind of interesting too.
Real.
Butter.
Final boss level.
Live from the Real Butter Studios above the Theodore Brothers Theater on the outskirts of a minor American city, I'm Theodore Theater.
And I'm Peter Theater.
And this is the Buttercast, Episode 2, The Secret Life of Mutants. With us today,
I'm John. I'm an alcoholic.
and
Amanda LeBlanc.
oh, and we have Poppy in the studio. Say hi, Poppy.
Hi.
Today we'll be reviewing The Dark Pheonix.
Why did you make me do that? Look at me. Focus on my voice. I'm not giving up on you, Jean. She was my friend. You're my family, James. No matter what. Stop.
Dude, I watched the whole thing.
Wait, you were awake?
Yeah, I was awake. I watched them
Did you
slice
see-
into my skin.
Did you see
and
your
then
muscle tissue?
No, because there's a layer of fat cells underneath your skin.
It was all yellow?
Yeah, yellow and
Yeah.
little bubbles sort of looking things.
You're kidding.
No, dude, it was the most gnarly thing I've ever seen. I kind of wanted to take pictures and ask to take video or something, but at the same time, I just wanted it to be these are my memories. Yeah, I get to have this. Little scissors, just after they took a knife to each side of it, and then she's just got tweezers holding one side, and she just snips under it, and then that last snip, and it just flails around, and she throws it in a cup. Yeah, it was
She put it in a little cup. Then they pulled the bottom part of your arm skin up.
Well, then they
to sew
just
it.
they just started sewing. She sewed from one end. There's stitches underneath the skin, 8 stitches holding it together to dissolve over the next 4 months. But yeah, pretty intense.
I can't believe you were awake of that. I mean, it makes sense.
And I didn't think I'd be able to watch it. I did recently, not recently, but within the past year, when the surgery became an option, I ended up watching a video of somebody having not this removed, but something similar
Yeah,
in
I've
their
seen
skin,
videos
having
like
something from the skin removed. I can't look away. That's kind of gross, but all right, it's kind of interesting too. I don't think I'd be able to do it if it was myself, because I feel like I'd associate what I'm seeing with feeling it, but it was so numb. As soon as I looked over and saw that she had already started cutting in with a scalpel, I was like,
It's like a VR.
and then I had I had a towel over here and a towel over here, and it was just that ain't even my arm anymore. All right, let's take a look at this. And so I watched the whole
Front
thing.
row seats.
And yeah, no, she was
Row A.
the surgeon. She said you don't have to watch, but it's if you want to. And I was staring at it, and she's pretty cool, huh? And I just said that's so gnarly, because she's obviously she made a profession out of removing things from people's skin.
Yeah.
She was so nerd about it. She was and they're pretty sweet. And she explained the whole thing as we went through. It was we won't be able to see muscle or anything. Everything down here, those are fat cells, and it was crazy. It was just absolutely crazy.
I had my face degloved one.
Your face.
Degloved?
Yeah, it means all the skin was peeled back from my...
What's that? Predator?
I mean, yeah, basically. Because I had jaw
Really,
surgery.
Predator is the first thing you think of instead of face off?
Because I had jaw surgery, and they went in, they got to it inside my mouth, so they cut right here and right here, along my gum line, and then broke my jaw in 5 different places.
What
Cut off
the
some part
heck?
of my chin.
How do you break someone's face?
I don't know. I wasn't
On purpose with strategy. Not like a punch.
honestly probably
Bet you weren't awake for that one.
They chiseled it away.
probably some sort of blunt object that they hit with a little hammer. If I had to guess.
Sculpted you.
I have 5.
Out of marble.
Yeah, obviously, but they have.
Ouchie.
I have
wow.
5 steel plates in my head.
You have
And
5?
screws. Yeah.
Currently?
Yeah, forever. I
Wolverine.
can feel one of them. One of them's kind of right here, a little corner, like Wolverine.
Good segue.
Like Wolverine.
Like Wolverine.
Yeah. I'm exactly like
Best
Wolverine.
segue.
You are
the X-Woman.
You are the equivalent.
Oh, like that great line that Jennifer Lawrence had yesterday. We should be called the X-Women.
I think people took that a little too seriously.
Oh, we're flying all like.
She could have made the point without actually.
stands for human, not man. But I feel she was just mad, you know,
No, it's
in the
just kinda- it's a
situation.
cheesy
Frickin' line.
It's
No,
cheesy
it was
'cause she
cheesy,
could've-
but It wasn't. I've
She
seen
was angry.
cheesier. I've seen cheesier
Oh, yeah.
attempts at like.
But she was like easier going
Equality
on. It
within
wasn't like
movies.
forcing it.
It did force it because she could have said, "Women do all the work on this team.
Oh,
You should think
yeah.
about the name. Walk away."
But she was
Our
angry.
brains could say, "Oh, X-Men," instead of her going, "Yeah, because it's called X-Men and it should be called X-Women." Like hammer it in. Like, oh, okay.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And movies do that way too often, all the time.
Oh, I forgot. You guys are idiots. Let me just spell
Yeah,
it out for
right.
you.
Well, we all bought a ticket to see Dark Phoenix, didn't we?
We didn't
Which
buy
we didn't.
anything.
But because we weren't there.
For free.
Yeah.
However,
I wouldn't.
Time isn't free. though.
however, most
And-
people had to buy a ticket.
Yeah. They got
After Apocalypse, you had to have known that this wasn't going to be.
I didn't see Apocalypse.
I don't know why
Good.
anyone was surprised. The reviews are like, oh, they seem very
It's
shocked.
rancid.
It's terrible, 20% vote. But like, what changed? What was so great about the last one?
Nothing.
I think they're all
No, it's
consistent.
better. It was better than the
I
last
loved
one.
First Class.
First,
That was honestly,
Okay,
I
First
believe
Class
that's
was
one of the
alright.
But I
best
loved James
X-Men
McAvoy
movies.
until
I
like
thought
it was
Days
like,
of Future Past was one of the best X movies.
Had it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The old guys, the new guys, time travel, whatever. It's comic book time.
And
Sentinels.
Yes, which I think, the Marvel movies, the MCU movies have embraced. Just go for it. Just have 100 costume people running around. Don't try and explain it to normal people. And I think the X-Men movies were doing that too. They're just-
all right, you're a metal
Whatever.
man, you're a ice dude, you're I don't know. Just
That's
start running
everything.
around. You got dreadlocks. Just start running and shooting things.
Yeah, grab things with your dreadlock.
I was when I first saw him, I was like, "What is his ability?" And then you don't see it. You don't see it. You just hear it. He's literally whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Can you imagine
You're like, but you don't get to see it. You're
the
just like,
raw footage of
I
that?
guarantee he just whipping people with his dreadlocks.
just wearing like a motion capture.
And then they
hat.
finally show him whip somebody with his.
No, he's got motion capture dreadlocks. They put little trackers in his hair.
Wait.
No, I don't know. It sounds real, right?
It does. I mean, but you wouldn't.
I'm
control
sure they
them.
put them on his head so they knew where
Maybe they had
he was
like
going.
wires connected. then.
But I would have loved
No,
to
I
see
don't
the
think so.
uncut version of that, where it's like green hair. It's like
It's like that, like uncut footage of Benedict Cumberbatch doing Doctor, where he's just like leaping up into the air like 2
Yeah, and he's
feet, you know?
running.
with his like cape, and he has to do it like over and over again, just in like the streets mark, and it's
Yeah.
super funny.
I thought it felt like an X-Men comic book, and I was fine with that.
Oh,
I've read a lot of comic books when I was younger, and that felt like it was full of angst.
back in my day.
It's like a teenage thing. Everybody's very angsty and worried about the changes in their body and their, like relationships and all that. The X-Men's, it's just like an adolescent thing. You should know all about that,
Yeah, don't
how
you
old are they all supposed to be in? Like,
It's funny you say that.
roughly.
Because they messed up the timeline. I was talking to you about this before. They messed up the timeline yet again in this movie. It's 40 years after the previous movie, and everyone's the same age.
It's not 40 years.
They said 40 years.
Okay, so First Class was in the 60s.
Okay,
Days of Future Past was in the 70s.
and now it's the 90s.
Age of Apocalypse was the 80s.
Okay,
And this one's in the early 90s. I
they're
think.
supposed to be 60 years old.
Professor X and
X
Magneto are very old.
are supposed to be like 60 something years
aging.
old.
So Magneto was
Wow.
10 years old in World War II, so let's say 1940.
Oh my
so he was
gosh.
born in 1930, which means in 1990 he's 60. And that's a handsome
Mike
guy
Fassbender
right there.
looked pretty good.
Like
That's a good looking
they wanted you to watch these
great.
movies back to back.
whatever he was doing, like in that little commune camp thing, like it was working for him,
Yeah.
you know? He had his like little like puka shell necklace on. Like,
He did. He was all hipster.
Yeah. Or
Hipster.
puka shell, but he had like a little necklace with like a little like charm on it, you know, like natural colors. And,
Gotcha.
You know.
Hipster Nito.
I had a puka
Yeah,
shell
with his,
necklace back in like
what do they
6th
call it?
grade.
Like the,
Christ.
not storage unit, the
I also have chips.
the shipping crate. The shipping crate village.
Garbage Town.
Yeah, garbage town.
They lived in Garbage
Yeah,
Town.
those
I
live
live
on.
in
garbage.
Both of them, I think,
Like,
in
who
a single
created that look?
school photo.
He also
Anyway.
had a nice little teapot, I noticed. I noticed
really
it and
liked
thought,
that
I
tea.
bet no one's going to do a review and talk about his little teapot. So I made
But
a
we
note.
did.
Magnetos teapot.
Real butter.
Magneto's teapot.
He takes it off the shelf. It's a small little Chinese style thing.
The cups were cute.
I think it was water.
It was,
I have a feeling
Where
in
is
reality it was water.
no.
Question.
I love that one of it was just like the front of a boat. One of the
Yeah,
buildings.
Garbage Town.
Great.
It's great.
It just made sense because
Where-
like
What else?
architecture for him is just moving things.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're right. It's all made out of
Just
metal.
plastering
He just-
things together.
Yeah.
You didn't see that? Huge shipping containers and
I
big,
want a prequel
Perfect.
of Magneto just setting up his camp. Just like a 2-hour movie.
I don't know.
Can we
I don't-
move that over here?
I don't think it's good.
More
feng
left.
shui.
Left. You can do this, dude.
Oh.
With your mind. No,
North
it's
face.
not the same.
It's north facing, really?
I can't see the sunset. Facing away from the
Right.
sunset. You can see the
Magneto
sunrise.
can
Not the
control
same.
metal.
It's going
Professor
backwards.
X can read your mind. Their budget, $1 million.
Where is it located in the U.S.? 'Cause
What?
It looked like his camp thing.
Garbage Town.
I don't think it's called Garbage
Garbage?
Town.
No, that was an
That's
island.
they called it
It's Garbage Island.
Oh,
Wait,
Garbage
it's
Island.
called
Garbage
Garbage
Island,
Island?
USA. It's not. We're just joking.
Where,
It's-
well, where
it's-
is it? Because it's kind of like rainforest.
They said the government paid for them.
Right, like the government is allowing them to stay. The
So
U.S.
it's just
government.
some remote location.
I'm
I
going to
guess.
say it's an island off the coast of South Carolina
I can see that.
because
Well,
it's humid and
Yep. it was humid.
Hawaii is
Like Fassbender was
technically
sweating the whole time.
in America, so it could be U.S. owned.
I
It
think
could
I-
be some remote island just pushed far.
I think I care too much about the details for superhero movies.
Right.
And then I get hung up on like details, and then I'm like, then it doesn't make any sense. Like
You
if I,
can't.
you know, I struggle with that.
you have to let it go.
Yeah, no, I let a lot of that stuff go.
It's like suspension of belief or whatever, but I
Because it makes no sense.
Nicholas Holt
Cage.
love it.
and
Nicolas Cage Got that one.
and honestly, Sophie Turner were probably the only people who were actually trying to act in that movie.
You don't think James McAvoy was?
James McAvoy, I don't think really.
You could
I mean,
see
like,
you could see the pain in some of these actors. Like, let's get it done.
that first scene where they're all together and like, okay, here's the mission, we're going to space, blah blah blah, and you could just tell like Jennifer
could tell who
Lawrence,
was on
Jennifer
board.
Lawrence was like,
It was like she was
why
reading it off
am I
screen.
She
Like,
walked
on
in
SNL
and
cue
she's like,
cards.
"What's going on, guys?"
Right. It was bad. I met Kai
explains
Sheridan.
why her makeup is so different now. It's because
Yeah.
they were just like,
Eh.
get
Well,
me
she's
in, get
wearing
me
the
out. I
suit
just want to
now,
get
right?
the heck out of here.
Like the blue suit instead of being painted.
Well, she didn't do that at all. And then as soon as,
She wore a
and then
suit
as,
the
soon
whole
as she
time,
was
so-
back at the school, she changed into her normal Jennifer Lawrence looking self.
What do you think about that? You think that the old X-Men movies were right to make her basically nude?
Yeah,
Can she
comfortable.
change her clothes by
Well, apparently.
what she wears? So why
When
does
she assumed people's form, she
I mean,
made clothes.
we all know why
Speaking
they
of
made her
people's
naked.
clothes changing based on how they look, I felt like, did they just change Beast's coat like a few times? Like
What do you
his
mean?
jacket was like, I felt like it was blue, and then he turned blue, so they made it brown, and then like he was wearing another blue coat with the red lining, but then later you see
Oh, I
him
didn't
wearing
even-
like a green coat with the same red lining.
I wasn't.
I
looking
was
at
more
his clothes,
fascinated
to be
on like
honest.
the.
Hard to get hung up on those details. But it's like,
I-
what are you doing on here?
I was looking at his face. Like, what did they do to Nicholas Holt's face? Like, is it a mask? Is it like prosthetics?
Oh, it's prosthetics.
CGI?
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah, a little bit of all that.
It's just he has one of those faces that you shouldn't, do.
You'd be
CGI.
surprised what they CGI these days.
I know.
I don't think that car was real at the beginning. That car crash. Once it was laying upside down, I was like,
That was a little.
all
That was pretty
CGI.
intense. That how high it went in the air just by ramming into another truck going like 40 miles an hour
Also,
down a
it was
town
kind of
road.
gory for a PG-13 movie, the car crash.
Yeah, the
Cyclops
mom's neck
dropped
is just
an
broken.
F-bomb.
Right? I was like, literally,
audibly
like,
went,
at the moment, I was
"Ooh."
like, one mom today asked me, is this rated R? And I'm like, PG-13, but there is one F-bomb. And she's like, oh.
She did the same thing. Ooh.
It was funny. She
kinda how
had
it
like a little
was.
kid, like 12-year-old with her.
I will never kill you.
I think they still did an okay job on like the practical effects because they still tried to put them in suits like Mystique and Beast in some form of
It
prosthetic.
wasn't referred to as Mystique one time.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Wait,
also good now,
Raven-
so it doesn't really matter.
I can't
Raven's
remember.
a good sign.
Raven is her own name, right? And then she went by Mystique.
Ravenclaw, yeah, she's blue.
It was not Ravenclaw,
Sorry, Raven.
but Mystique was like her
Harry
fake
Potter
name,
doll?
right?
Yes, that's my people.
Mutant name. Okay.
Assume
That's
they're-
what it was.
Mutant and proud. I'm blue.
They're sort of considered. So they very much cut the cord with the original 2000 X-Men.
Dude, like I said, they
Because-
just threw it all out. Well,
Yeah, but Days of Future Past, they send Wolverine's brain back in time, right?
It's consciousness, yes.
Say-
His consciousness.
No, say brain. It sounds more funny. Yeah, he threw his brain back there.
Yeah, I put it in the time machine. He'll grow a new one. He'll be fine. So they put it in the time machine.
He's brainless.
He
in
wakes
the-
up
in
back
the
then.
other movies.
So he changed the future, right? He told them what to do to change the future.
Yes.
And I think at
They
the end
did
of the
that,
movie, you see the
and
whole
then
future
that
change.
reset the timeline. So everything that happened from then.
Right.
So yeah. Which
Sorry
that's
about
when
the
it
others.
changed.
The
That
other
they don't
movies.
have their
We're just
own-
gonna change it.
Dark Phoenix thing happen anymore. Like, X3 just doesn't happen anymore.
Thank God.
Right.
Such a bad movie. Did you know one of the
Was
screenwriters?
this one better?
I think so, but
Yeah.
we'll get to that. One of the screenwriters of X3 wrote and directed this one, so they
Interesting.
really
Anybody
like
mind if
they didn't search farther afield than that. Oh, you wrote the last Dark Phoenix movie? You want to do this one? Because the last one failed so horribly. Odd choice.
I think
It was
they're playing all their cards. They're just trying to. I guess it didn't really matter in the end because they're screwed either way.
It'll be
So,
great. You got all these good actors. Jennifer Lawrence will be in it for 10 minutes before she has to go do something else.
to get shish kebabbed and then.
What else has she done?
Shh, spoiler.
Well, there was always
I know.
spoilers.
There are always
You know Real Butter.
spoilers.
We've been around for.
Yeah. I have a little fun fact. So apparently the Dark Phoenix movie was supposed to be an origin story. And it's supposed to like lead into more upcoming stories.
More
but then
Dark Phoenix stuff?
X-Men got canceled and then it was actually kind of similar to some other movies. That's why it felt really
space.
like it didn't go anywhere.
no way.
Everything from the train on was reshot.
Yeah.
The whole
They
train
had to-
ending was a new thing.
It's like, this is a lot like some other movies. Oh yeah, this also isn't an origin anymore. It's the end.
Yeah, you're done.
So she's just gone now, right?
No, she's a cosmic
flying
bird.
around.
Sorry,
What's with all these
Besides-
birds in X-Men? Raven, Phoenix.
And half of them are blue.
Angel,
Half the
So
people
she
are
Wingman.
could
blue.
come back someday as like a non-human entity.
In the
I have
comics,
evolved.
the bird thing, whatever it is in space, kept Jean. It's kind of like Hulk in a where they kind of
Or like
share
Venom?
or Venom. Yeah, they kind of share a body. Yeah, more like Venom. Yeah, you're right. Because
Yeah.
Hulk is more. Yeah, Hulk is more. I'm on the wheel. Kind of.
I'm
Can I
always
just say one
tired.
thing that made me laugh out loud and it looked at me weird?
You
was
lulled?
I literally laughed. I lulled. When Jessica Chastain was standing, like they were fighting all these, aliens on the train, and then you just see the back shot of her head, just and it was final boss level, like literally. That's what it felt like. And I like cackled out loud. I was just like, I was like, that's so
Oh, yeah.
fucking cheesy.
Boss
Like,
level.
I don't know. It's funny. Like all of their work on this train was for naught. Like just like not.
Because she
it didn't
starts
matter. Yeah. Yes.
I'll get her by running at her.
They all ran so stupid. They ran like Muppets.
Oh man. Yeah.
Dust you.
And also, she looked like she was going to break her ankles and her heels. And walking over all that
Dude,
terrain.
that was impressive.
It was
I
like-
think they had her on
give
a
her some
harness.
boots or
They were
something,
putting her on a string because her legs would be broken if she ran in those.
Yeah.
More importantly, I think for a movie about diversity, they're being inconsiderate, making their main villain an albino. I'm just gonna say it. Albinos get a bad rep.
They really do.
They're always creepy in movies. and
They
TV.
are.
Was she an albino or was she just very blonde?
She had
Kind of
no
albino.
eyebrows to be spoken
She
of.
did. There was a little pitiful amount.
Yeah.
But I think
I
it
think
was
she was just
They
super
were kind of
blonde.
red colored almost.
A little
Peter,
Smeagol
you
kind
know
of hair.
albino?
Yeah,
Huh? Yeah.
very pale. She was very pale.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And she's a blonde, so like. blonde
Yeah,
is
man.
so
What do you got
much.
against?
No, that was like
Siri.
platinum though.
What do you got against that?
Maybe it's just you.
What do you think about all this girl power now?
Love it.
It's fine. They don't have to say it though.
They don't.
Do you
they
think?
don't.
Do you think it's a little too on the nose in these movies?
Just call it
Oh, well.
X-women. That did it for me.
Well, I'm not talking about that specific part, but main
X-
character is a girl. Then
Yeah.
the main bad guy is also kind of a girl. She's
An albino.
she's an alien that runs
Took
like a
over a
Muppet.
woman's body.
Yeah.
I think
Why?
it's-
Those aliens were just in there to make Jean Grey not so bad, right?
Is that a thing from the comics?
Do you want another little
Not
thing?
those aliens.
So
There are aliens
they s-
involved in the Dark Phoenix saga.
Those aliens were going to be Skrull originally, but
Ooh.
then this was before Captain Marvel, and then Captain Marvel came out. No, maybe we're not, because the Skrulls kind
Then that
of
must be what the space battle at the end.
they
thing that
literally
wanted
changed
to avoid
form.
was.
I'm like, are these supposed to be Skrull?
No.
No, they're not.
They're brown skulls.
They're
Well,
actually
if MC would have done it, then it A, probably would have been better, and B, would have made some
would've been
sense.
way
They would've
better.
been scrolling
Here's my
again.
prediction for the future. This
Good
movie,
movies.
because they've altered the timeline, so now X-Men 1 doesn't exist, which now gives Marvel the option to basically recreate X-Men 1 in the Marvel universe, okay?
Tie
And
everything
still
in.
use an aging
Modifier?
Professor X
Yeah.
and Magneto as the older characters.
I
like
did
they've
hear-
primed them to now,
that's
you know?
yeah.
And they can have their new Wolverine introduced in that movie.
I think the only person they're keeping is Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool, aka also Ryan Reynolds. They're the same guy.
True.
But that's and then they're just gonna keep it under Fox. There's no one else is gonna come back
Really?
from those movies.
Oh.
It's just Ryan Reynolds,
Oh,
Deadpool,
but
aka
James
Deadpool, Ryan
McAvoy,
Reynolds.
Michael Fassbender, though.
Such a broken record. Though.
Kill it, destroy your dreams.
Whoa.
They're gone.
No.
Sorry.
As an actor, if I was one of them,
No, I was like, wait, what? As an actor, I think.
As an actor,
Sean,
Take
you
my
act.
thoughts.
goodness.
As a mutant.
Yeah,
As a mutant.
I
As a
think,
mutant.
Okay, what
You-
about them?
given the option, I would run as far away as I could from those type of roles right now. If
They've done enough, right?
they have, if they want to like expand what they're doing with their career, don't get locked into something that's going to take 10 years to
A
explain.
contract kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's
But
yeah.
that
do you think
long.
but like Robert Pattinson? I know we're not talking about Batman, but like him
know.
taking Batman.
Good
will
for him.
Allow
No,
him to do
he
like
could-
a million indie projects. You know, like we won't.
Pat-Man.
But he's also a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
He's
Well, that's
great.
what I'm saying. So is
That sounds
McAvoy,
really
and so is Fassbender.
You have to be serious. You can't show any emotion in it.
Right. But what's happened to Christian Bale after being Batman?
I mean, you got
I
nominated
just-
for
you know
an
what?
Oscar.
Yeah, right?
Many
Downhill.
Oscars, I think. How many?
Don't walk in front of the cameras. You seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. But. Well, he's in his own universe, just like they're making the new Joker movie. It's in their own universe. It doesn't really tie anything together.
What's DC up to? I don't understand them.
The standalone things work though.
How many standalone things are there?
3 so far.
Oh, speaking of which,
Batman.
the
Begins.
last little remnant from this
Yeah.
Fox deal is the New Mutants, which was supposed to have been released in April.
Was
gone.
and even October before that of
Wait,
last year.
they actually killed it, or they? I know that
I don't
they
know.
they
I
kept.
think-
I
I
know
thought
they
it was
kept
coming out
pushing
this
it back.
October.
Yeah, they
I've
kept
heard rumors
pushing it back.
September.
from Lachlan.
Other way around.
What?
New Mutants looked like it was actually going to be kind of good.
I haven't heard of that. Who are the Mutants?
They're new.
Well,
That's it. They're new.
Actually.
Yeah, you have to speak like that.
So the New Mutants are basically the younger generation of mutants that were going to be trained. Cannonball was one of them. So these guys are like, they're teenagers again. So all the X-Men got a bit older.
Yeah.
No, but for some reason, when they were pushing this New Mutants film, it was going to be horror influenced. They were going to sort of do like a teen horror
Yeah.
thing that was in the X-Men
When you
universe.
change genres like that, you kind of have to rewrite the whole and then reshoot it, and then push it back again, do it again.
And now that Marvel owns them, who knows?
Sci-fi romance? No, you guys did it wrong. Oh gosh, we got to do it again.
You know, movies are always better when they rewrite the ending, or have 5 writers, or 2 directors, whatever. Just make it a big party. Everyone just throw in their ideas.
We'll do them
I
all.
know who the actors
Yeah,
are.
we'll do all the endings.
How many aliens were there? Because it was at the beginning there was 12, and then there was like 5 in the house, and then they just kept showing up at the train. Like it was like,
The train scene?
yeah, there were so many of them.
Did you ever see the movie Signs
No,
with Joaquin Phoenix?
I've never seen it.
With Mel
Okay,
Gibson.
this is really a bad reference, but the aliens that are in Signs, you seriously see 2, but then you know that it's worldwide. So I think it's the same thing where they're only showing you, but Transformers 2007 or 2008, there's more than meets the eye.
But like Jessica Chastain said when she, whatever her name was, when she drives up, she's like, "Is this all that's left of
Oh,
an
yeah.
empire of aliens?" And it's like this half circle of aliens.
Empire of Dust.
Oh, when she goes into
You're
that,
right.
When
that house or building.
yeah, like at night when they're in the car.
Try not to make sense of anything, and
I know,
and then
I
you'll
know.
enjoy it.
I know exactly what you mean, because it's a group, it's maybe 20 people tops. And suddenly they're dropping all
Yes.
over the place. I actually, because in my bread, I'm like, oh, they must be the alien
In your
characters.
bread?
In my bread. Okay. They time shifted Wolverine's brain back into my bread. And that brain thought, I know there's aliens, but there's too many of them on this train. It must be something else. Maybe it's Magneto's followers or something. But no, it was the aliens, and yeah, they
It was
appear to be
the
reproducing.
non-Skrull
Yes, we'll be calling them Krolls.
dwarves.
Did they not put a mechanism in Cyclops' suit that he doesn't have to touch his eyes? Because, like, what if you don't have the use of your arm all of a sudden? But
It's the 90s, so keep in mind that you can have a huge dome where you can telepathically link up to any person on the entire planet, but you
He was
also
doing that in the 60s.
You also you also need to have a button on your glasses. You
Also,
can't
can I just say,
do it?
I love that they had Space Shuttle Endeavour, this huge big event. It was, once in a how many year thing, and it goes wrong, and then the X-Men are like, okay, we'll go, and then there's like just in there like chant, that like they have this technology where they can just go into space. Like
Before they were
nothing.
talking like, can the jet go that far up?
Right. Like,
jet can't.
why
it
haven't
wasn't
they told
built for it,
NASA?
but okay.
Like their
You can't.
technology. Why not?
Yeah,
It's a logic thing, I guess. I have to.
I
Right.
know. Like,
Okay, so-
like I said, just throw it out the window.
The space shuttle is the pinnacle of technology during this time.
Yeah.
And yet, they've got a jet.
But
They can just
chilling-
scoot on up
chilling
there.
underneath the basketball court,
Yeah.
just like ready to go.
Yeah, rolled the basketball.
rolls, and I was just like, oh goodness, thank goodness it wasn't a child.
Did it pop?
Basketball.
There's one mutant skipping class.
There weren't any lights, there weren't any sounds going off, an alarm of some sort as this thing just opened. The ball just rolls and...
I think they know to stay in class if they see stuff like that. I mean,
No, there's just that one kid out there. I'm gonna just shoot hoops.
you got all
That's
these
my superpower.
You got all these mutants as your teachers. You're not gonna skip class, dude. Could cut you up into 3, into 4. Wolverine.
Oh yeah, he doesn't exist.
Yeah, Wolverine didn't show up in this movie.
Oh, so also I guess the future in Logan.
I think.
Does that happen, or
I think
is
that.
that a one-off thing?
No, it was. It did happen, but it was. What was Logan?
2029?
2029. So I guess they still had time, but he just didn't show up at all. That may have been because he's 60
No,
and then
it's
Jean
good.
Grey's like 20, and that love interest thing kind of.
Wait, their love interest at one point?
Yeah, and the older X-Men.
In
Love
X-Men
you.
and X-Men 2.
He's like tearing himself apart, trying to get to her.
Yeah, in X3, the really bad one. He's the one who has to kill her. 'cause
Sorry,
he's the
I didn't
only
mean
one
to
who
bring that one up. I'm sorry.
How can anyone say this is worse than that? That is honestly one of the worst films ever made. Ever made.
I think they all belong in a special treasure chest at the bottom of the ocean. Each have their own treasure chest.
The X-Men one is fine. It's very 2000. It's very heavily influenced by The Matrix. Everyone's wearing black leather, and they look cool. That's fine though. It stands up fairly well. Good actors again.
Matrix, yeah.
They got really strong actors to play Professor X and Magneto in all of these movies.
Well, they also had Kelsey Grammer, Famke Johnson, Logan.
And your point with those two was what?
I will go. Kelsey Grammer's a great actor.
Yeah, he's really great at playing Frasier.
Fraser Crane is the greatest human being alive.
Oh wait, no.
That was a documentary,
I forgot.
right? Like, I'm sorry, did I miss something?
Real.
Butter.
Tell me how we fix this, Charles. Tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. No, they don't understand. They fear, and what they fear, we seek to destroy. This is your fault, Charles. I tried to protect her. I'm scared. When I lose control, bad things happen to people I love.
Peter has put together a list of 5 mutant films.
Yes, so
Not
films
X-Men.
involving mutants. There's one film that involves mutations, but it's still considered mutant type. So the first movie I have here is Annihilation. It came out in 2018.
I read the book.
Yeah, it's a good movie compared to the book. I think they took some liberties in places, but it's basically this alien crashes down at this lighthouse, and there's a thing called the Shimmer, and there's a huge bubble basically, and I don't know, it warps things. It warps DNA together. kind of combines things. So there's all these weird mutants, like this crocodile had rows of teeth like a shark, and all these weird flowers that were blooming and growing out of just one kind of like root, one stem, but they're all like different flowers. Anyway, it's an interesting movie and very disturbing at the same time if you don't want to see superhero thing, but still mutations. That was just an option.
And Hiliation. It was really weird. I think it's a Netflix production.
It is, yeah. Moving on. The Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl, 3D, 2005.
I'm told that's a Robert Rodriguez film.
The young boy is recruited by his imaginary friends, Shark Boy and Lava Girl, who are mutants, clearly. Okay. A little bit of a stretch.
Of those animals?
They do.
I need to check that
the
out.
lava animal, yes. Lava Girl has powers like the lava animal, and Shark Boy has powers of the Sharknado. Anyway, it's super cheesy, just a different kind of genre, but still involving mutants. It's got who's in there?
Antonio Banderas?
Yeah, and then
or is that Spy Kids?
That's Spy Kids. They got what's his name? Perez something. L.
What?
George Lopez.
George
Lopez. I'm thinking of an entirely different movie. I think I'm thinking Spy Kids.
You are.
Yeah.
Shark Boy, Lava Girl might.
It is written and directed
Or
by
is it Lava Girl,
Robert
Shark Boy?
Yeah, so it would very much, if you like Spy Kids, you'll like this movie.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
very.
Spy Kids.
Anyway,
Never saw it. That's
another.
a Rodriguez film.
Another silly thing that's a theory. SpongeBob SquarePants, we all know and love that.
Bikini Bottom.
Yeah.
Nuclear
so this theory is
warhead testing.
the show is actually based in real life. So Bikini Atoll, I think I'm pronouncing that right.
Yeah.
It's a home of 67 nuclear detonations.
Yeah, no, that's a thing.
Yeah, in the Pacific Ocean during the Cold War between 1946 and then to 58. Yeah, the U.S. government did all this testing on these islands. So that kind of explains
The guy
these.
who created SpongeBob SquarePants was inspired by Ween.
Was he?
Their album, The Mollusk.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
That's a true story.
It all comes together.
Ween also wrote Loop De Loop, the song about tying shoes that SpongeBob sings.
That's amazing. Side note, I'm gonna go back to SpongeBob real quick, but speaking of songs,
We're still on
there's
it.
a song called Rubber Johnny, okay? It's 2005, it's on YouTube. It's an experimental music video about a wheelchair-bound boy who morphs and moves to an Aphex Twin song. The experience gets out of control. I hear that he's also on like cocaine or something. He does cocaine.
It's wonderful. I love
Yeah,
that
so go
music.
watch it. Link is in the description. Going back to SpongeBob, so I thought of kind of a hole in the theory for Sandy Cheeks. You know, okay, she's from Texas. How did a squirrel from Texas go over there? Lab experiments. They couldn't afford
Houston was the
rats.
problem.
Rodents and...
They couldn't afford rats. They got squirrels. Those suckers are everywhere.
Yeah.
Squirrels are less expensive than rats.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
They breed like...
So they put her in a little cute little astronaut suit and put her down a little ocean. A little adorable.
And that's a little clue, because her...
USA.
USA.
USA. USA. USA. Sandy Cheeks. The last movie is a movie I actually haven't seen, but I would like to recommend it because I really, really, really want to see it, and I just can't get the opportunity to. It's called Freaked. It's a 1993 film. A vain actor and his best friend, an activist, end up in a mutant freak farm. It's run by a weirdo scientist. And little fun fact about that, Keanu Reeves is uncredited in that film. He is a dog man. Really, really wacky movie. I've heard great things about it. I've seen little clips on YouTube. But I'd recommend watching the full thing. But I can't really give a great review.
Island of
That's it
Dr.
for me.
Moreau.
Wonderful. And probably one of the earliest literary examples of mutants.
Say so?
Would they count as mutants?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've
Crossbred,
actually not.
Right?
I've not seen it.
Like animal
Do you have
It's a mutation.
Do you have a
of-
brief description? I haven't seen it.
There's an island with a doctor, and he's cross-breeding. Well, he's like cross-DNAing, humans with
Splicing.
animals. Splicing.
Yeah.
Splicing animal and human
Okay.
DNA. And he's got this whole island under wraps, and somebody
Spy
comes
Kids
out to
2?
do something. Val Kilmer's involved
Is that Spy Kids 2?
Yes. So you're talking about the film adaptation with Marlon Brando,
with Marlon Brando.
he's phoning it in Jennifer Lawrence style in that movie.
Isn't
He's just sitting around in a chair,
And
just
at
like
that
reading
point,
lines
he
off the
has
wall.
been forever.
Isn't
He
that
doesn't
Spy Kids 2 movie?
No.
An island?
It's pretty disturbing, but
What's with Spy Kids?
Originally
Copying everything.
by
Spy Kids.
Jules Verne.
You were wrong.
Who was it?
H.G. Wells.
G. Wells. I don't know.
But you're going to say
You're right. All I did was
Lovecraft.
name generic early time sci-fi writer.
Also, like, Vivisection, wow, was that movie really gory?
What movie?
The Island of Dr. Moreau.
I don't recall. I mean, I saw it when I was a child.
Because they, like, splice together humans and animals
Yes.
with using vivisection. So, like, taking, like, an animal leg and, like, attaching it. Oh, my God, that reminds me of the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Ooh, tell us.
Tusk.
I was right about to say Tusk.
It's got a mutation, right?
I mean,
more like
Kevin
a
Smith, yeah?
hybrid.
I've never seen it.
Oh, God. My friends took me and I had no idea what I was in for, and it was really
that's
awful.
Jason
It was
Long.
really awful.
It's about this
Justin
crazy
Long,
dude
yeah.
who's obsessed with walrus.
Yeah, and he like
walrus
takes a
eye.
man, Justin Long, and like kidnaps him in like this house, and
There's a
turns him into
house.
a walrus.
Yeah, he sews other people's skin onto him,
And he's
puts
just like,
fat in him,
oh my God.
sews his legs together, actually breaks his bones and like puts them back together, restructures his body like your face,
Yeah.
like Wolverine, like a mutant. And
Yeah. Well, there's the debate. Are they mutants or a mutant born? Because, of course, mutation is a permanent alteration of the DNA sequence.
Yeah, but a mutation couldn't. Oh yeah, it's DNA specific.
Now,
It
apparently,
depends.
there was recently a doctor in China who used the CRISPR technology to genetically alter a pair of girls so that they would not be able to contract HIV.
With female,
Without their
human girls?
consent?
Yes. So these were embryonic girls. He altered their DNA so
Without
that they
their
could
consent.
not get HIV. This was very controversial. Only in China.
did he ask
Wow.
the fetuses first?
No.
That's
There's-
fine.
That's the
because they
controversy.
cannot.
Trying not to make
So-
any of this political.
Right.
Oh.
That's why I kind of said something to kind of stir it up, make it spicy.
Hey.
But so things like that, they're considered, they are mutants.
It's a mutation.
So are they
I
considered
guess.
mutants then?
So in
Their
there are
superpower is not contracting.
Yeah, but
HIV.
now apparently other doctors are saying this was not a good thing because sometimes people without that piece in their DNA sequence live shorter lifespans. So you don't have
You
AIDS,
lose 2 years.
but you die before Magneto. Huh? Awkward.
So only time will tell. We'll see
Yeah.
when these twins die, and then we will
Yeah,
keep
let's
you guys
watch it.
updated.
Let's keep your eye on their lifespan.
Yep.
My favorite mutant movie, of course, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, 1990.
Rick, yeah, who weren't born mutants, by the way.
Like I said-
just
yeah,
to
I was right about
debunk
to say
everything
that.
we were just
God,
talking
you're
about.
absolutely right.
It's
Wait,
not.
were they normal turtles? or were
Secret
they-
of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Ooze.
The
And then the ooze got
the
in.
alien
Oh
ooze.
my God.
I named them after four of their sons' masters.
Also, side note,
That's one of the-
Annihilation wasn't permanent mutations. It was from the Shimmer, so it
Yeah,
wasn't
but
actually like
The things were made that way forever.
permanent. But it could have been undone. I'm not going to spoil it, but like, okay, good. Go on.
From the movie?
From the movie.
Okay, just I have
two
to
more
name drop
books.
Ninja Turtles because I'm not talking about the sequels, any of them, or the cartoons. But if you watch the very first Ninja Turtles movie, it's basically
The best movie of all time.
well, yes, and here's why. Because they shot it like Taxi Driver. If you watch the cinematography, the shadows, the set design, and everything,
Lean in on this one. What?
Did they really?
it's beautiful. I mean, I don't know if they did that
No.
intentionally,
Dude,
but if you
Leonardo sitting at the bottom of that tree just thinking, like, just reflecting on everything that's happened to him in the last, like, week is a beautiful scene. It's absolutely beautiful.
It's art.
No. I absolutely agree with you that, like,
It's pure
Teenage
art.
Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 1991?
it's 1990.
90.
Yeah.
90?
Yeah.
I always used to tell people this. It's not a
Fun
movie,
feature.
it is a film.
Oh.
You know?
No,
It's an art piece.
It is.
it's
is-
basic. No, I mean,
A painting on the freaking wall.
it's a painting on celluloid.
Oh.
Yes.
Multiple paintings.
Now, if you compare that to
Put it
the
in the
Jerry
archives.
Bruckheimer Ninja Turtles, night and day, right?
Michael
Jerry
Bay.
Michael Bay.
Bruckheimer
Michael Bay.
Same person.
can
It's the
take
same
his
person.
17 billion and put it you know where.
In his mailbox.
Yeah.
send a portion
Trying
of
to
all
think.
of us for all the money we've spent seeing his movies.
I mean, I'm
Okay,
Reimbursing us.
Ninja Turtles 1990 to CGI creepy alien Ninja Turtles
To poop.
is based. No. I'm making an analogy. Is The Last Supper by Leonardo da Vinci to Buddy
Poop.
Jesus by Kevin Smith in Dogma. Okay, that's like that's the level that the Ninja Turtles.
Not to say anything negative about Kevin Smith.
We'll edit that out.
Clerks and Mallrats.
Tusk is the only one I've seen, and let me tell you.
What do you mean Clerks?
That's
What do you mean
interesting.
Clerks?
Excuse me,
It was
Jay and
original.
Silent Bob Strike Back. I love it.
That's a little clue.
Love it. It's great. It's great. Are you kidding me? Jay and Silent Bob better than friggin' Dark Phoenix. I'll give you that for damn sure.
You know what I liked about Dark Phoenix? I really liked the soundtrack. Anyone else like the soundtrack? It was by Hans
A couple
Zimmer.
times, but
I knew it.
Zimmer
I
been
knew it. I
in
could
there
hear it.
before. Yeah.
Very
Totally hear
atmospheric.
it. Bum dum bum dum bum 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 dum. Oh, that's Batman. Gosh,
He's a great guy though. Good composer.
he is very talented.
Zimmer.
Name Hans Zimmer.
I'm Hans Zimmer. I write your film music now.
What's about what? Phoenix. Okay.
I like the birds. All
that's
right.
like going into like book territory.
What was your favorite mutant?
I'll have a posse
Honestly,
of people here
hey.
with me next time to defend Jay and Silent Bob Strike
Okay.
Back.
And I'm going to do more research on the Ninja Turtles movie. I'm going to have 50
Processing.
reasons it's a masterpiece.
That's what I agree with you there. It is a masterpiece. I loved it.
But they don't have to be superhero.
It's
gonna be Annihilation wasn't really a monster.
I never saw Annihilation, but I really wanted to. But I was a tax accountant at
Corey
the time, and
Feldman
I was during tax season. I didn't watch any
is one of the
movies.
turtles.
So anything? Can you think of anything?
I really liked
It's good. And the
Like
practical
I
That's
really
something.
liked that,
Perfect.
like because I loved that was
That's
like the beginning of like Jennifer Lawrence mania, you know, and so I like loved her, and I was like, wow.
Just talking
she
about
doesn't
First
give a
Class.
fuck.
Yes.
I loved her, and then like I love James McAvoy, so like that and like those two in a movie together was like amazing to me. And I was, when did that come out? 2012 maybe? 2000.
Sure.
You know, so I was like 20, and I was like, wow, this is like everything.
Eating lasagna, okay, right out of the oven. Oh man, it's so good. And then you microwave it, and then you keep microwaving it. It just gets sadder and sadder, and like not
cheese
as
sticks to
and
the
not as good,
plate
and
and
it
everything.
gets way too
Yeah.
icky
Garfield wouldn't eat it.
I like them like discovering
themselves.
like
really.
themselves,
Yeah.
like their powers, and like how, you know, like how Xavier would mess with people because he would read their minds, you know.
Yeah.
I liked that part.
Exactly. I enjoyed how they said, let's make a period
Yeah,
mutant hero movie
yeah.
and sort of explore how those powers would exist in the real world in that time.
Yeah.
Brilliant idea. In fact, this whole
That's so
series,
fun.
I think that's the coolest part about it, is that they're all in different little time periods. They went for the costume, the music, and that's the fun part
I loved Jean Grey's look.
in this movie.
Like
with the hair.
pushed back hair, super defined eye, like her little like sweater
She had
set.
hair and eyes, nose.
Amazing. But like her long
Amazing.
coats,
She had all
you
the
know,
body
like her, like,
parts.
She
like
had
boss
toes,
coats,
okay?
and her like bootcut jeans, you know.
She
like,
had
it was just,
pants
like,
on.
She looked
Sorry.
good. I heard that
this
one time when she was crying with Sophie Turner, she cried like and was using those tears for a scene because her dialect coach took away her jewel. And I identify with that like a lot. So yeah.
Like her Jewel CD.
No, it's like a
the
jewel.
musician
you know?
Jewel?
Like a vape.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh, it is a vape.
She had one, and then it was taken away from her, and
Yeah.
then she cried.
And then she cried about it.
You
So
know,
she's
and then
shallow.
they quickly nicotine, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it's yeah.
Where is she from?
There you go.
Sophie Turner?
Yeah.
England.
Oh,
I don't know where
I see.
specifically.
I see.
Her accent was a little shaky.
Married to Joe Jonas.
Yeah, I mean,
What? What
she's
is
like
happening?
She's like 8 inches taller than him, which is funny.
She is a mutant.
She's really tall.
You know, redheads are mutants. I'm just kidding. I
That's
don't
an
know
excellent point. They are. It's a recessive gene, and there are redheads will eventually die out.
They will eventually. Yeah, there's like not enough redheads in the
Yeah,
world.
because dominant genes will.
that. We gotta make more redheads, guys.
Well,
Well-
let me get right on that.
We don't want to encourage too much redhead interbreeding because
Get a little too red.
yeah.
Wow.
Mutated.
It is a mutation though.
Are blue eyes a mutation?
No, they're just a recessive.
Oh,
Okay, no, it's all recessive.
Yeah, that's what John said.
Oh, you know,
I let you embrace them.
Dazzler was in this movie.
Dazzler?
Comic book fan. Her power is to sing, and it makes sparkly things.
That was really weird.
That's amazing.
That's
like a diva,
She makes sparkles?
Like
fabulous.
So she's a pop star
Mariah
superhero.
Carey.
Yeah, she was created in the 1980s.
Hannah Montana.
That's the best she can do.
She had her own comic book. She was wildly popular.
You wish you could make sparkles out of songs.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's better than nothing, right?
How would you feel getting stuck with that? Like, there's Magneto. He can lift up the train and crush everybody.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there's always the
Wolverine.
short end of the stick, like
and then,
her.
what do you do?
I shoot boogers out of my nose real good.
Yeah. Sorry, kid. You can't be in, like,
Kind of like
X-Men
Spider-Man,
team.
but just kind of lame. Call me the Boogeyman.
How do you feel about just working at the school while we go out and fight the bad guys?
Yeah, you could like,
Need some boogers or?
No, I'm good.
Okay, they're right in this tissue if you need them.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
It's just anytime we need them.
He's got a fanny pack with tissues in it. That's his superhero belt.
Gotta give him the clogged up nose, though.
I can't even.
Stop with the horse reference.
Okay. Puke Man. He can puke
Oh my
at will.
god. There's a comic book character who vomits sort of an acidic, volcanic solution.
he was in the Deadpool
He has
2
no jaw.
movie. He was in the Deadpool 2 movie, right?
Was he?
Yeah, he was played by the guy who was the It clown. I don't know his name.
Skarsgård.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
Bill
Bill Skarsgård.
I just read the first chapter of It again today.
So you just reading that one chapter over and over?
That's how that sentence sounds, right? No, I'm gonna read It again for the second time.
What?
It.
What are you gonna read?
It.
I never
It's an
saw it
audiobook
because
now.
It looks like it would just scare me way too much.
You should read the book, because that...
Is it a mutation?
I don't know if it could.
Is what?
The only Stephen King
Mutation.
book I've read is
That's not scary.
No, I know.
What?
It, I'd get through a chapter and
wrapped
I'd
it up?
have to go to bed.
Oh, butter.
I don't think I can do it
Terrified.
alone, you know? Like,
Oh,
no, it's,
no.
I can't watch
No,
scary
it's
movies
nice.
alone. I can't watch, like, Dateline type shows.
We'll do the butter rating.
How many butters?
Okay,
Or how much butter? How many butter?
how many butter?
How many
Sir
butter
rating
would
system.
you give Dark Phoenix?
Out of how many?
Yeah.
Well, let's let John go first.
John, you go first, John.
Dark Phoenix.
Give it... What did I give Gojira?
I think you said I wouldn't give anything over a 2.5 if
For
the
Gojira?
script is bad.
You were
That's what you said.
balancing.
You didn't really
special
sound like
effects,
that. I'm
monster
sorry,
fight.
but
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
John, what's up?
We're
How you
going
doing?
like give it 2.3.
keep it consistent, like what you said before. The script. If you didn't like the script, you give it 2.5 So that's
Yo,
totally
break it down.
fair.
2.3.
Break it
Totally
down.
fine
2.5,
on your end.
So a
Meh.
third? No.
Can I
third?
Can I just do that? A 2 point meh.
Yeah.
Meh.
Like a smear?
Not over 2.5, but it's
Yeah.
2 point meh butter out of 5 butter or 10 butter.
Out of 5 butter.
Come on.
You scared me for a second. I'm like, dude, it wasn't that. It wasn't
I thought 5.
rancid.
I thought 5 was the general
yeah,
butter.
Yeah, 5 butter.
5. Just 5 is the limit.
2.3 butter.
Kate. Amanda.
2.
2 butter.
Yep, 2 butter out of 5 butter.
Strong points, weak points.
Weak points.
The
And,
script.
Yeah,
Dialogue or plot?
dialogue.
Dialogue was weak.
More so than the plot. The dialogue really bothered me. Like a lot of it involved. And
Agreed.
And just how many people it goes. That confused me about all bad, like, meh movies or bad movies. Like, I got through so many people to, like, this is the final product, and no one was like, lame.
Especially when there's a huge name behind it.
Yeah, and a huge budget.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, if it's a little movie and
The budget went to the rewrites and the new shots that they had to make.
What about you?
Butters.
8
Butter. I honestly was entertained, so for that I'm gonna give it a 3.6 butter out of 5 butter. Why?
Wow.
0.6?
Yeah, wasn't 4, wasn't 3.5.
6.1.
Fine, 4 then. I'll round it up. I'd give it that's too
You're
much of
very
a butter.
nice.
That's too good of a butter. Fine, I'll say 3 butter then.
You don't deserve that butter. It's my butter.
It's a pretty decent, you know who it is.
And I think that the amount of effort that went into the reshoots and fixing up the script was just pathetic. It's just sad, and I feel sorry. And I remember being in the auditorium and listening to the people behind me, like actually just being super sad. Like I could hear them groan throughout the movie, because it's just. Ooh. Can you imagine if this happened to your favorite thing? I mean, what if this was just Marvel, Iron Man, Hulk? They carried these characters for decades, and then this is it. Can you imagine being that disappointed? Yeah. Yes, the movie was disappointing, but being a true X-Men fan,
right.
They got Logan.
It's sad.
Yeah,
it's really sad.
When people could walk in wearing X-Men shirts, I was just like, ooh.
And not get like.
I saw it on Saturday night. The weekend it opened, and there was 14 people in the movie theater.
I'm sorry, but like knowing that it's like being an X-Men fan and knowing that it's not just like, is this movie going to be just disappointing or is it going to be good, but like knowing that there's been 6 other movies.
12 if you count all of them and the Wolverine movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
And this is it. This is the conclusion.
There's been like one good one.
It's sad, man, and I could hear it in their voice. I actually think a dude was crying.
It was bad, not because they were sad about what was happening.
No, because it was over.
Oh.
That's how it ended. And his friend was like, dude, it's okay. Marvel's gonna take care of us now.
Oh, I feel kind of bad now.
Disney's got us, okay? We're gonna be okay. He was seriously saying this to the guy.
I'm a Star Wars fan.
You want me to feel bad for you?
No, I don't. No, I'm perfectly happy with where I am in my own love for Star Wars. I just can't watch
Star Wars and
the original trilogy.
That's because
you're okay now because you got through the prequels period. Now you're through that.
Yeah.
Like nothing will ever be that bad.
The darkest days are gone.
It could never be that bad again, no matter what they did.
They tried. They tried with that last one.
What would you give it? How many butter?
Yeah, how many butter?
Thought process. Butter.
Yeah.
Divide and conquer.
I don't know why people hate it so much. It feels like an X-Men movie. It feels like an X-Men comic book. What did you expect? It's not the Avengers. It's a little awkward and ungainly, like a teenager.
They had the amount of movies to make it like Avengers, though, which is the thing. I'm just saying. Go on.
No, but they had... okay, so in their favor, they had lots of good actors. Most of them willing to give everything. Thank you. And then on the negative side, dialogue terrible. Why were the aliens in it at all? Why wasn't Dark Phoenix the villain? Why do they just... Oh, no, just kidding. She kills a few people, and then she's not really that bad, though. They just chickened out. It was lazy. And it didn't feel like any kind of conclusion. If they knew this was going to be the last one, like, really go out strong.
I was really shocked at how it ended. Like, it was just, like, done. And I thought for sure she was going to come back.
They didn't know that was it.
Yeah.
That's why they had to make it.
What's his name? Scott was like, I mean... why wasn't he sadder? I don't know. Right?
Oh, man.
Cyclops?
Darn, she's so dead.
And like,
I'll remember her.
Died to death, man.
Yep.
And so like Charles and Eric are just off in Europe now, like playing chess.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Yeah. Charles isn't in charge anymore.
Right?
Okay, so I'm gonna give the movie 2.5 butters because I was fine with it. It was enjoyable, and like all the other X-Men movies, I forgot it almost instantly afterwards. But I didn't hate it.
But you
and it's
didn't
fine.
love it.
Also, Michael Fassbender.
Literally, maybe the best.
I'm gonna say it.
They look good.
He looked good, and his character was very powerful and cool. He was kind of the cool anti-hero that we have when we don't have Wolverine. Okay, so the last thing left is we're going to hear Poppy's summation or review. So Poppy is a mutant himself, I would say. Poppy is a small popcorn kernel who lives at our family-owned theater here in this town in which we live, and he goes to the movies with us. Hi, Poppy. How you doing today?
Hey.
How are you feeling?
I'm alright.
Did you watch the X-Men movie with us?
Yeah, I see right next to you.
Yeah, I just have to ask.
Yeah, I saw it.
And how'd you like it?
It was okay. I got lost a couple times. It moved too fast.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's your favorite X-Men character?
I like the guy in the wheelchair because he seems like an underdog, but he's pretty cool.
Wow. All right. Does he remind you of any friends of yours?
I had a friend.
You do? What's your friend's name?
No, I said I had one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, he rolled away though. In his wheelchair, he rolled away.
So, Poppy, the rest of us are eating, snacks during the movie. What do you like to eat?
I like to eat salt.
Salt?
Yeah.
Like in individual granules?
Yeah, I draw bits of salt. You can munch on them. Sometimes I have to break them in half because they're too big for my mouth.
I understand.
Yeah, they're pretty big. What do you like to eat during the movies? Do you like popcorn? It's okay.
I do. I like popcorn.
I understand.
They're not alive like you, though.
I know. Would I eat dead bodies? No. I wouldn't eat dead human bodies, would I? You sick freak.
Okay. Well,
you think you're a hot shot, huh?
I'm gonna put you back in your...
You think you're so cool?
I'm gonna put you back in...
Yeah, put me away. See what happens.
Okay, see you next time, Poppy.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
What species are you?
I don't know. I don't have a uvula.